Well, hey, folks. How is everyone doing today? How did you make out? I guess that is the thing. How did you make out? A couple hours ago, I was in bad shape, like I was the last time I went out and did this. Jeepers creepers, the last time I went out into the storm and shoveled and snowblowed, I was not feeling good, and I'm just not used to that. And as you get older, it makes it even harder. Um, but And it was really light too. That's what stunk. I'll get my hood here all over the place. Sorry. That's what stunk about the snow. It was really light, so it should have been easy, and it kind of was. I think I went outside for 45 minutes or so. I don't even think I was out an hour. And the the easy part was the snow blower because I probably had 8 to 10 inches out on the ground when I went out there. So I swept the steps and I trudged through 8 or 9 or 10 inches of snow to the garage. I got a snow blower and I blew stuff around. It was going pretty easy because it was really light. It had just gotten dark when I went out there. And then the hard part was I wanted to get the snow off the trucks because it was piling up on the trucks. We had a good, 7 or 8 inches on the truck. So I'm cleaning the trucks with the rakes and trying to, oh my gosh, that's what tired me out. And then I had to snow blow all the stuff I took off the trucks, as you know, just kind of talking here. I'm not bitching, I'm just talking. And then I went back to the steps and there was 2 more inches on the steps. I was like, "Man, I just cleaned the steps and I went and did all the stuff," and then oh boy. Now the other thing is the possums. I don't know how they're gonna get around because I didn't snow blow a path for the possum, so if they're under the shed, they got, uh, you know, 10 or 12 inches of snow, maybe more, that they're gonna have to get through to kinda get out, and then how do they walk around? I mean, the squirrels can jump, but the possums, those big fat possums, I don't know what they're gonna do. So, hopefully they can survive a few days and, until we can, dig them out. Because they haven't had to deal with 2 feet of snow. I don't know what my totals are so far. They we were like I say about 10, and they said the next few hours. So I got 2 more hours of heavy stuff. It's already started to lighten up a little bit, but it's coming down. It's just not as hard as it was, and it's supposed to go all night, but. I don't know how much more we're gonna get. So I think I got a good chunk of it done. Because when I looked out, I was like, it doesn't look that bad. Even the stairs don't look like they have added more than a few inches of snow. So I'm hoping that little chunk I did put a dent in it. So when I get up in the morning, it won't be nearly as bad as it could have been. But I'm pretty beat. Pretty beat. I fell asleep for a while. Then I get up. I was like, oh, let me watch some of the game. I caught the end of the Patriots game. Didn't watch much of the Seattle game or the Rams game. So I guess it's what the Pats in Seattle. But anyway, so good to see you guys here. Hopefully everybody's doing okay. So Brian comes by. Good to see you, Brian and Jeff. Um, yeah, we got the shoveling done, and yeah, what a day! Yeah, Barbara's been in and out several times. She says she's got close to 3 feet in her area. That is just absolutely insane. And John down there in Dallas, good to see you. And Mr. Rowdy coming by. Blaine coming by again. Hi, Blaine. And Scotty, good to see you, Scotty. I was dying to play some Apple hockey tonight, Scotty. I was in a hockey mood. I says I'm gonna pull it out and play it. And when I get done, I was just so tired. I really was. I was somewhat nauseous. That's how tired I was, and I didn't go very hard. It's just my body just can't do it anymore. I'm still here, kind of. I purposely take it easy when I go out because I don't want to push it and have anything bad happen. You know what I mean? I don't push myself anymore at all. I used to go and get it all done and push myself and come in. I'd be exhausted and I'd be a bear because I was so tired and cold. Now it's like, nope, that's enough. You got to know your limits. I go in and then I can always go out again at some other time if I rest up. So in 18 in Ohio, I want to see if I can plug it in and see how I did. Let me see what we got here. Um, so we got 13 inches so far, is what they're saying. And they're saying we could get a few more. So it's only 13, if that's good. I'm looking over here. Yeah. Some places give it to you, and some places give you a map. It's just like, don't need that. Let's see. No, I'm getting all this data. I can't read the data. I just want to see how much snow I got. Um, yeah, well, I'm just typing it in. It's like Jeepers Creepers. Just tell me how much snow, and it's throwing all these numbers and all this other stuff here. It's like, never mind. All right, we're gonna give up on that. Just can't figure it out. So it looks like we had what I say it was 12 or 13 so far. Yeah, business and school closed. Yeah, they're shutting down the schools and everything in my area tomorrow. All around. They're shutting it down. I feel like I should do the ticker at the bottom, the school closing alert. you know, oh man, remember as a kid we'd get up and we would be sitting there watching it, and like if you missed your town by like a letter or two, you had to sit there till it went to every town, and there was like 500 cities. It felt like it's like, oh, I didn't see my town. Now I gotta wait, and sometimes you're clicking around in different local channels to see if you can get a better spot on the ticker to see where you are. Joe was in a ditch. Stuck in a ditch. I had to get a tow truck. Oh, Joe, what were you doing out, Joe? Oh, you got to be careful out there. And you did 6 shoveling shifts. Say that 3 times fast without screwing that up, right? And saying something wrong. So you did a little at a time. That's actually not the bad way to do it. I'm up near Boston is where I am, so I'm on the coast where we're getting a lot. And Barbara said it's still snowing. It's still snowing here, but you got it before us. So you started what 4 in the morning. So yours has been going for what 16 hours or something like that, right? Ours is supposed to go into tomorrow. Let me check my phone and see. That's the only app I use for weather is just the phone, and usually it's pretty good. So yeah, we're going all day tomorrow, even in tomorrow night. So I mean, it's just not going to stop. And I sent a message to the guys that I work with on Monday nights, and I says I'm working remotely tomorrow night. So I said just call in the scores and I'll write them down. And he's like, well, you better tell the guy you ain't coming and get coverage. It's like, who's going out tomorrow night if it's bad? If it's bad enough for me not to go, no one else is going to go, and they shouldn't play. And I never bail out on those guys. I said, but if it's bad or if I'm tired, I ain't going. I ain't going. Yes, I want to get some Apple hockey here too. And I was going to either play Apple or Hockey Blast or Hockey Bones. I was going to do one of the two, and I just was tired. I was sitting there dozing off, and I was doing a puzzle of all things. And I says, I got a second wind. My friend of mine called me from he's on the road somewhere. He's like, I was driving home and I had to stop and go to a hotel, so we were just chatting. And I was like, yeah, now I'm awake. Now I'm awake. Well, I'm not half asleep. I should say that. Tribe fan says they didn't get that much in Ohio. Uh-oh. And Jason says the blower wouldn't start. His back is broken. Yeah, I would have had a real if my snowblower didn't work, I don't know what I would have done. I might have had to had somebody pay somebody to come do it. It wasn't it was kind of light, but there was a lot of it. That's what it was. There was just I think we had, like I say, 9 or 10 inches out there, and just that's a lot to move even when it's light. And I don't get a very big driveway, so but still, it was a lot to move. And the snowblower cut right through that stuff. That was great. It was like beautiful. So I'm kind of hoping it's the same way in the morning. It'll just kind of move it all. And I just want to make a path to get the cars out of just a path to the cars and then out the driveway. And that's it. I used to do tons of snow. I like snow blowing. I used to do a ton of it. I do all of here, and then her mom lived a couple houses down. I go to her mother's house, and I enjoyed it. I do the neighbors. I just was going crazy with the snowblower. I really liked it. I like clearing snow away. Not so much now, but yeah, without nuts, I have 2 snowblowers. I have one that I bought 28 years ago, and I still use it once in a while. It's a heavy, heavy duty one. It's wicked loud. And then I got a newer one that actually my brother gave me for Christmas many years ago, like 5, 6, 7 years ago, and it's a lighter duty one, and it's a lot quieter, but it can't throw the snow like the other one. So I try to use the quiet one whenever I can. Um, yeah, the county yard is level 2. Yeah, don't be on the road. Yeah, there's a lot of that over here too. When we went out to lunch today, they were talking about shutting down early, and Um, yeah, they were saying to stay off the road. In fact, when we went home, the roads were pretty bare when we went home, and then watching the news, that's what you like to do. I don't know if you guys like to do that, but after you get done shoveling or before you go out, when you get a really nasty storm like this, it's just fun to put on the news, especially over here in our area. They have, people out on the roads with cameras, and they got cameras everywhere, so you can see where it is. And it's like, oh, over here, Worcester's getting this, and Providence is getting this, and Boston's getting that, and they go to the suburbs, and wait, it's just fun watching that and just kind of chilling out doing that. So, and then they show the roads, and it's like sometimes there's nobody out there. Sometimes a lot of people on the roads. It's like, what are you guys doing? What do you need to be? Um. Oh, so you only got an inch of snow. See, that's nothing. That's really nothing. Our temperatures have gone up. It's now 25 here, so the heaviest snow is going to be coming in. Sadly, so in the morning it's probably not going to be quite as easy. Um. And Grace says, yeah, there's supposed to be. They are saying it's supposed to keep snowing. So he's rolling some 67 APA baseball. I wanted to play something. I'm tired. Again, after last night, getting home late and freezing cold for all those hours I was at the rink. Today I knew I'd be tired. I get up, had lunch, went back to bed, and said I need a little bit of energy, and that's all I had was a little bit of energy. And there are some schools closed Monday and Tuesday. Yeah, they've shut down everything around here. They didn't even hesitate. Basically the town shut down except for the police, the fire, and the plows. But all the schools are shut down. Everything's shut down. I'll probably the rink will be open, so they're going to try to call me in tomorrow night. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I just don't know. It depends how much snow we get, how long it takes me to clear it out, when it stops. So I'm certainly not going to risk my life going for a part-time job. That's for sure. I'm not going to risk crashing my car to go there for that. That ain't worth it. You got to figure out if it's worth it or not. I'll get my red D to D mug. This is my coffee mug. The black one I use for hot chocolate, because if it stains the black, it's not so bad with hot chocolate. So I know some of you guys have mugs. They're actually decent mugs. All things considered, the mugs aren't that bad. Oh, let's see. Indiana 5 or 6, not enough to cancel the dentist. Yeah, you never know. You never know. And Bob, yeah, 16 hours so far. It's been going 16 hours. Yeah, that's a good question, Brian. People are bringing that up. How would you handle Denver's ratings if we play in today's game without Nick's a quarterback? Boy, that's a tough question because they have the quarterback finders on there, but I imagine the finder would be 11 to 66, right? I don't think anybody but Knicks would play in that game because they're carded for the regular season. So again, that's one of those crazy things that happen with cards and dice, is that the season ends and you card accordingly so you can play the playoffs according to that. But in this situation, when that quarterback doesn't I mean, in APA and Strat, you could change the quarterback out and see how it goes, right? But if you're playing a team game or a drive-by-drive game, it's rated for the starting quarterback. Same thing, if Tom Brady, let's just say one of those seasons Tom Brady got hurt, and didn't play in the playoffs. Well, you're carding, New England for Brady. So yeah, that's a good question. I don't know how you would handle that, and especially with that game, I'm not sure what you would do as far as I don't know. I don't think the game was designed for that. Because he rated the cards at the end of the season, and that's what you get. So, any kind of injuries that happen in real life or on your table are just unexpected. But yeah, who knows? 10 inches for AP. Yep. Yeah, Bob is going to pick it up tomorrow. Appa Chatter comes by. Good to see you, Mr. Chatter. And Joe says, "Don't ask my hillbilly girlfriend and daughter were making me go nuts." Don't ask. Okay, I won't ask. Now you got to do what you got to do. Oh yeah, Jones getting hammered in Syracuse. Yeah, my friend is in Rochester. He just moved to Rochester actually last fall or last summer, one of the two. And he wanted a place on a lake, so he bought a place on a lake so he could probably see Canada on a clear day. That's how high up he is. And he just messaged me today. Says they're getting hammered with cold, they're getting hammered with snow, and he's got no heat and hot water right now, and his pipes frozen or leaking, and he's only been in the house a month or two. And it's like, dude. When he sent me a picture, he sent me a video of his backyard showing the lake and the rocks that were protecting the water from coming in. It looked like a really barren, cold place, and that was before the winter. And I was like, dude, that looks pretty darn cold to me. Summers might be great, but you pay for it in the winter time. So I was like, oh, hope things work out for you. Just seven for Clinton. That's not too bad. And yeah, I don't know about the lake effect in Syracuse. I don't know how they have that. And you like the Rockies hat? Yeah, I do too. I got this a while ago. I love this. One of my favorite hats. Let's see. And he says, my favorite snowstorm, the guy who writes the Metro Chicago Weather Office with, dear forecast, for your information, I just shoveled 10 inches of partly cloudy off my driveway this morning. I know, they do the best they can. They do. A lot of times they get it wrong and it's in our favor. I mean, so many times, we're going to get 6 to 8 inches and we get nothing, or we get like a coating. It's like, we'll take it. We'll take it. No problem. And other times like today, they were pretty spot on, saying 10 to 20. That's a big difference, 10 to 20, but they narrowed it down in my area, saying right around 24. I'm hoping it's not going to be 24. Now, if I already get 10 out of the way and I cleared away to 10, if I only have another 10 to go, if I got to do that again, what I did tonight, if I just have to do that one more time, I will take that and I will freeze. I will say, okay, I'm good. No more. Yeah, the higher it'll be wet, the higher the temperature. Yeah. Yeah, it was single digits when I went out there. So it was pretty darn cold when I come in. And now it's going up. It's 25 degrees. So, and it might get up to 30, but like real quick and then come back down. So, and it's colder in Dallas. Yep. Yeah, I think everybody's tired of the shoveling, It'd be kind of neat. It'd be kind of neat as if, I know it's probably not a good idea to control the weather. You know what I mean? But if you had to have this storm, if you could just say, all right, tomorrow's going to be 70. So none of us would have to do anything that would come out and just melt everything. That'd be okay. Like when you get like a heavy April snow around here, the next day it's going to melt. You don't even got to worry about it. I'm too beat too. Some roads. I am. I want to play some APA, either baseball or hockey. I was gonna play something and stream it tonight, but it would have been a low energy show like you're getting right now. So I was like, no. Yeah, our store's closed at 4 today too. They said we're closing down. And Clint's got an electric snowblower. Mine's gas, but it's fired right up, luckily. And yeah, Pat's Seahawks Part 2. That'll be interesting. Like I said, I turned on the Patriots game, right? It's like, okay, I'm going to watch it. So 3 o'clock, I sat down and I watched 3rd and long for Denver. And in 3 plays, they went 60 yards and scores in 3 plays. I was like, well, it's not going to be a good day, so I'm going to turn it off. So I turned it off and did something else, and I couldn't watch it. And then I turned it on later. I was like, oh, the Pats are up 10-7. Missed another field goal. I was like, gee, what is it about missing field goals? And then Denver had a field goal blocked. I was like, wow, this is a crazy game. So I turned it on just in time to see the last first down run that basically clinched the game. So, and Clinton setting up 56 status pro in ball score. Very nice. And yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. The Seahawks they were the top seed, right? And New England was, I mean, they were seed 2, but they were playing a last place schedule. So we'll see, though. It's one game. Anything can happen in one game. And Rob says it's perfect weather for History Maker Golf here in Arizona. Yep. Wow. Tom says in Austin they got a little bit of snow. And it was icy. Yeah, well, that's the thing. I mean, we laugh and joke about that up here when Now let me change my screen. Let me get something cool going here. How about this? How about that? And so we joke like when like Atlanta gets an inch of snow, they shut down and they go crazy. But honestly, if you're not prepared for that because you don't get that weather, then you have problems. Different parts of the country prepare for different things, obviously. And down there, I mean, there's some major cities that have like one plow because they never use it. So why would you have more than a plow? And so, yeah, so when that will shut down a city like that, especially when it's icy. The only good thing is, though, is down there, you hope the next day, or at least the next 2 days, it warms up and it gets rid of it all. That's the only saving grace for something like that. Yeah, I mean, anything can happen, but I think the Seahawks are favored by 4. I think Seattle's going to win it. I just do. Um, and Rochester gets it too, but it's nice in July. Yeah, maybe I'll go out and visit them in July. Then I'll wait till July. Right? No heat and power in the winter. Yeah, and it's cold out there, and he's right on the lake. So, no, they have power, just no heat and no water. The water pipes froze, so that means they don't have any heat, but they do have electricity. So they do have space heaters. They have a fireplace. They have electric blankets. So yeah, so they're it's not ideal by any means, but they just can't take a shower or probably flush the toilet because the pipes froze. So they don't have heat except for electric heat, which is what they're probably sleeping in front of the fireplace like the old days. So yeah. And the cards and dice with Dawn comes by. Good to see you. And he says so. He made a mistake. Always have the water drip or a small rivulet from the furthest point of the entrance of the water. Yeah, I even last night it was so cold. Before I went to bed, I didn't let it drip, but I let the faucets run for a little bit down here just in case any ice was building up. They're going to let it run and flush it out. And we usually don't have a problem here. Usually, obviously on bitter cold days, I suppose if the power went out and it froze in here, there's nothing you can do. But yeah, there's been times I remember I grew up in a trailer park. I think I've told you that. And so there'd be nights that you'd have to let the water run, otherwise it froze. You get up in the morning, you go to wash your face and brush your teeth, and there's no water because it's frozen. It's like, oh man! And no matter what you do, they had people come out and put special tape and special insulation, but it's just the pipes are under the trailer, so they were exposed, and it's nothing you can do. So you just have to let the water run, and you hate it to waste the water and pay for the water, but that's the only way you could keep it from freezing. And Simmons comes by, 10 inches in Norman, Oklahoma. 8 degrees, no street clearing equipment in this part of the country. Yeah, you guys are kind of stuck until it warms up. Yep. Yep. And Dave Little, yeah, he was doing some wrestling today. I come in, either I was just getting ready to go out and shovel, or I just got back in from shoveling, and Dave was on. So I caught the end of his wrestling today. And so I like watching the Dave Little Wrestling Federation. So he was doing some of that. And he says, did the Rams pass up a couple of chances at a 2-point conversion? I think they did. I actually think they did. I think in the third quarter they got a score and they kicked the point. But I didn't. It was the final, and they were just going back and forth. So I was listening to the commentary before I come on here, and they said that nobody really begrudged them for not going for two, especially in the third quarter, because they were going back and forth. I mean, there was no issue scoring like it was in the Denver New England game. So, and Mr. Hoffman comes by. Thanks for coming by. And Clinton had an aunt that moved from Franklin to Lake Austin. I'm not sure what Lake Austin is. Yeah, control the snow, put it over the Great Lakes. Yeah, drop it in the water. Yeah. Enzo comes by. Do I play the 1978 season? I'm assuming baseball. Are you playing one team as a manager and assuming the rest are random games do you manage? Uh, right now, I'm playing 1976 Red Sox with payoff pitch, and I'm rolling the dice for that, and I'm letting Digital Diamond handle the rest. I did start up on my old computer, so I don't have it anymore, was a 78 Red Sox with APA Basic. So I was doing 78 at one point, and then when that computer died a little over a year ago, whatever it is, I never got the data from that. So that's gone, as well as my Celtics season on replay basketball. Both of those are gone because I just had no way of getting them off the busted computer. So I have played 78. I never finished that season, but I was playing APA Basic with that. And I was kind of managing the team, yeah. And then simming the rest of the games. I was doing that too. I started I think I started 74. Was it the Oakland A's? I think I did 74 Oakland A's with Strat PC baseball. And I've only got a few games into that, but that was having some fun with the A's there in 74. So, and that's another one that I think was on the old computer. So I think that's gone too. So it just seems like anytime I try to start a big project there, it just I'm so slow, so slow playing it. I never finish it, and then next thing you know, I'm on a new computer. And Christopher says, just heard tired of shoveling. Yeah, he just went out for sixth time. Not too bad that time, but yeah, it's too much. Yeah, I went out with a blower, blew away the 9 or 10 inches we got to that point. We're probably going to get more of that, and we might even double that. I hope not. It didn't look too bad right now, but it's going to go all night into tomorrow. So I think everybody will be out in the morning trying to clear it out, and then hopefully it won't be too much after. They said it might only be 2 or 3 inches in the afternoon. It's really going to lighten up. It's just not going to stop. So if everybody can get it cleared away and we get the driveway and the walkway and a couple more inches, that's not that big of a deal. I don't think. Could be very wishful thinking. Alan down there in New Jersey, 7 inches, but it's freezing rain. So it's all concrete now. Oh boy. Yeah, that's the thing is there's been so many times when we get snow and you would see the forecast like it would start to turn to rain. I'm out there right away. Soon as it starts to turn, I'm out there and I'm soaked and I'm freezing, but I'm so glad that I've cleared away what I could because if you let it rain and soak in and it turns into cement and then it freezes, that's what you can't move. So you're better off going out when you can, even if it's the middle of the night, and getting rid of is whatever you can get rid of. Because once it starts raining and gets heavy, now and then it freezes, that's when we're screwed. We really are. Um, you know, when I moved into this house, we've been here almost 29 years now. We didn't have a snowblower. We were obviously much younger, didn't have any money, and so I shoveled everything. And we had old neighbors next door, and they said, "Go ahead, use our snowblower." And so I didn't. But then at some point, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna have to because we just seemed to get a lot more snow back then. So I would use it all the time, and then I'd help them snowblow their driveway, and after the first year, they said that ain't right. So I went out and bought my own snowblower, and didn't have any money to do it, but we did it. And I don't know if I put it on a credit card or what I did, but yeah, we did that. And now and then I would use it all the time because then it was mine. With theirs I just kind of did bare minimums. But when I had mine, I everything. I did trails in the backyard for the dogs and did my yard and my mother-in-law's, and I went nuts with the snowblower once it was my own. So we spent the money on it. And then there was a thing, I think I mentioned this on, I don't know if I mentioned on the show or one of the chats, that a lot of people in the neighborhood didn't have snow blowers. And so now I had one. So I'm snow blowing, and there I see them all like using shovels trying to shovel out a ton of snow. And it's like, do I let them use it? Do I go over and do it? It's just, but at the same time, if you want to, they're like, well, we want to save money. We don't want to buy a snow blower. Then use your shovel. It's a weird thing. It's a very weird situation. I spent the money. I didn't even have the money, and I spent it, and I went in debt so I could get a snowblower. So if you don't want to, it's awkward. It's awkward because I spent my money on it, and I'm paying this thing off now, and you chose not to save money. So I think you should use your shovel. Again, does it make you a bad guy, or does it just make you? Why didn't you go get your own snowblower? You know, oh, you don't want to spend the money. Well, okay. It was a weird situation there a few times. I still got my drums. I still look at them, and I still want to play them all the time. I just haven't had a chance. Not in the wintertime. It just stinks. Yeah, I played pretty good for a couple of months, and that's it. I only played 2 months, and then we had the flood. And since then, I've put them in the corner. They're still set up. I would have to plug everything in and put the headphones on, but I still want to get back and play it. I guess I'll never do anything with them really, aside from just having some. But it's fun because I found backing tracks on YouTube that would start with a click, and then it would just be everything but the drums, and then you put your own drums. That was so fun. Just putting my own beats in there. You know, I couldn't even keep a beat. That was fun. I enjoyed that. I still want to do some of that. Yeah, we missed his wrestling. We did. Let's see. Christopher says, played Highlight Maker Hoops last night. That's one game I watched, but I didn't play. Yeah, we were talking about that, Clinton. Is Dave Little and his basketball. We were talking about that. I wonder if Dave Little has played. Dave, have you played any cards and dice basketball, like bank shot basketball? That is super fun. It's a long game. But it's really, really good. Christopher says one section of the pipes is right up next to an external wall going upstairs bathroom. So put the faucet and shower up there on fast strip and open a sink cabinet. Yeah, I did do that down here. I opened a cabinet so the air would get under the sink. And surprisingly, because I'm in the basement here, so the sink's kind of over here somewhere. It is quite surprising how cold it is underneath that sink. And what else is going on here in the chat? And at night use baseboard heater. Yeah, you gotta keep that going. Yeah, we like the wrestling, Dave. We really do. And yeah, my it's right over there. I think. Oh, that's my yeah, it's over there somewhere. Let's see. And Boxing Jones says I've replayed the 78 Yankees with Appa. The Brewers killed me, and I finished 3 games behind the Red Sox. Sox were good in 78. I think it was. Dave says, yeah, we talked about that. When he retires next year, he's going to play some basketball. So good for you. And he'll be 57 in a couple months, looking at getting an electric snow shovel. I was watching videos on that. Me and the wife the other day on YouTube, we were watching the snow shovels, the snow throwers, and then the snow brush. The brushes are neat because you can use them to brush away like leaves and dirt too. It's just like a big bristle brush and it just spins. And for light snow, like for a couple of inches, it does a decent job. It's not going to do big areas, and it's not going to take care of the snow I have today. But if I could have gone out there with a couple of inches, I could have used that brush and get rid of everything. And I'd be out there 10 times, but it'd be low effort. But we looked into one of those. They were like $250. And Mr. Keith comes by. Yeah, all the snow shoveling chatters. Yeah, sometimes you just got to talk about what's going on. And this big storm is one of the big things. You know, I did too, Clinton. When I was living in that trailer park, we were right on the highway, and there was another trailer park you could walk to in 10, 15 minutes. And so a buddy of mine, we grabbed our shovels. Well, obviously, wasn't my shovel, but mother's shovel, and we walked through the park and just knocked on doors. And we were 12 or 13, and would you like to shovel? Yep. And I think people would give us like $10 to do a driveway. That was a lot of money in 1982 or whatever it was. And we would just go around and then we get done our park, and we went up to the next park and went up there and doing this. And people were sticking their heads out the door waving cash. No joke. Hey, when you're done, come over here. And then they're like, here's $10. Go do that lady. She's an old lady. I want to pay for you to do her. Okay. And we went and did everybody, brushed off cars, shoveled up the driveway the best we could. And because the trailer park is so compact, we had a ton of people just like, sure. In fact, I would do that now. If somebody come to the door and said $20, I'll shovel you. There you go. you know, absolutely, I would nowadays. And then the funny thing, the funny not so funny thing was, so we did that. We probably each made like $100, which was a lot of money for us. And no, we were tired, but we worked hard for that. And then like 2 days later, they got hit again. And we went around and did it again. And not everybody hired us this time because I think they were just like frustrated with the whole snows thing. But we did. We went around again, and you want us? All right, go ahead. And they're like, no, this time I don't want to pay anybody. Okay, fine. But yeah, we did that as a kid. We did. Yeah, it is a tough position when someone is being cheap and doesn't want to buy snow removal, whether it's snowblower, whatever it is, and you do. And you're like, well, if I give it to you and now it's wear and tear, what if it breaks while you're using it? Or if you're using up all my gas, And you hate to be selfish about it, but it's New England. We get snow. And if you want to roll the dice and hope that you don't ever get a big storm, that's on you. But don't think I'm going to keep bailing you out because I spent money on it. I mean, you want to be neighborly. And there was a couple of times I helped some people out, and I cringed doing it because I know that they were too cheap and didn't want to do it. But it was a fine line, And electric shovels work, yeah, depending on like your situation. Yeah, you're exactly right. Dave Little says, I am playing a tournament with Primetime Hoops from Play. He's liking it a lot. I watched it played, and it didn't grab my interest. I didn't play it though, but I watched it played, and I said, I don't know. I don't know about that. Now my coffee's getting cold. Let's see here. Michael, how you doing? Just finished shoveling for the 7th time, and he's still out. I hope you're taking it easy, though, Mike. I know you said you fell early, but your back feels better, which is save money on the chiropractor. But hopefully you're doing better, Michael. Really, I was thinking about you today. I was like, man, just hope Mike out there shoveling away. I don't want to see you in traction with your arm and your leg like this in a wheelchair, D to D, coming in. And then you can't roll dice. You go, oh man, I got my arm. I can't roll dice. I can't roll dice, So yeah, take it easy there, really. And let me see, JT. Yeah, wishing us the best. Yeah, thank you so much. Thanks for wishing us the best, because it's still coming down. I'm probably underestimating this. I'm kind of looking out saying, oh, it doesn't look so bad. But I imagine when I get up in the morning, it's going to be bad, even though I've already cleared out a bunch of it. Just because it drifts. That's the thing. If you go clear it out, and it's not like it starts over because the snow all blows back. Some of it. Not all of it, but some of it. I'll still be in a better position than some of my neighbors who didn't go out at all. That I do know. And Enzo says the Blizzard 78, he made a bundle. A lot of cars, a lot was digging cars out that were plowed in. I still see the pictures out here and all the cars that were trapped on the highway. That was the scary thing, is that the highway got stuck. And then they just one by one, the next morning they were digging them out. And so they plow out one and pull them out. And then it's on to the next one. And then and the technology was different. We didn't have all the snow removal equipment that we have today. I remember just being, like I said, my stepfather had a plow in his truck, so we were out and we could go around because we had the plow. But I remember being stopped by, was it the National Guard? We went to visit my grandparents, and the National Guard actually stopped us. It was like, "Where you going?" It's like, "Oh, we're going down here to plow." And I'm like, "All right." But yeah, it was a weird time. It was just nutty, just out of nowhere too. And Fenner comes by and he says, watching the Seahawks Super Bowl bound. Yep, Seahawks Pats again. Yep. And you remember shoveling the playground before you played hockey? Yeah, that was the thing. Is trying to play street hockey in the snow because you clear it away, but it still was kind of wet. That was the thing. That you could clear away the snow off the ice and you were fine. But if you're playing street hockey and there was snow out there, you really had to really get it down to the bare so you could play. And Mike says his back Saturday after the Patriots won. I turned on the game and I just watched Denver go right down and score 3 plays, 60 yards. New England couldn't stop them. I'm like, well, not going to be a good day. That's if they don't start off well, it's whatever. But that's the only score that Denver got. I couldn't believe it. I went out and did what I had to do, and I come back in and it's like, wow, Pats can run out the clock. So I tuned it in. I didn't want to tune in because I it's always better if I don't watch for them. And they had that 3rd down and 6, and they ran the naked bootleg. It was the Steve Grogan naked bootleg. And he outraced that guy and got the 1st down, and that was it. It was like, that was pretty cool. Because I was like, what do you do? Do you throw for it? If it's incomplete, the clock stops. So you just kind of run it up the middle again and let that clock wind down to about a minute. I mean, what do you do? What do you do? And so Enzo says, I got Action PC Baseball, and he loves it. That's a good game. He's playing 77. He's originally going to manage 2 teams, but he's playing the AL and NL random game or matchup like. That's what I like to do. Well, I like to do both. Sometimes I like to take one team because if you play one team, you start to learn them and you get good at it. And then you but sometimes it's fun just to play a game of the week. And I like to do that because then you can play more teams. And then it does feel like it's a Monday night baseball, Sunday night baseball, and then it's just kind of like turning on the TV and watching a game. That's what I kind of like. So both are good. Both are good. I really like to do both. Yeah. Sometimes I like to do that. I'll put on the golf channel, and I'll watch golf from like Hawaii or something like that in the winter. It's like, oh, that looks really nice. Alan down there in New Jersey, supposedly 2 12-year-old boys from the neighborhood are coming tomorrow to shovel us. Hope they bring chisels. Oh, they'll figure it out. We might have a plow coming. Supposedly her nephew, who's was like got his license a little while ago, is driving around with a truck with his plow on it. It's like, come over, make some money, So I didn't do the end of the driveway yet. I did a little bit. I didn't do all the way. So if he comes by, he can take it out. If not, then at least I've done some of it. I just want it to stop, just because I need to get back to a normal schedule here. Because when it does this, like when I'm out there, I don't know about you guys, like if you go out there and you spend all this time and you shovel and you're tired and you're cold, it's like, man, I don't want to go to work. I don't want to do anything. And I got a showcase. I got some games to do. I think I got Thursday, Saturday, and Monday. I got to go up to New Hampshire for some games. So I'm kind of hoping I'm not too tired for that. Like I say, last 5 years we've had light winter, so I was able to do work uninterrupted. This year, not so much, Yeah, so it is fun to play some middle to bad teams. I mean, if you're always playing the best teams, I mean, yeah, that's what everybody knows, but I like to show the bad teams some love. But it's and sometimes I like to play a mismatch game. Remember, Sportsman Z was doing Mismatch Monday for a while there. He would take a good team and a bad team. It's always fun to see how that plays out, and sometimes, you get an upset. And I think I did that. I was playing the 81-82 co-op project with hockey, and I had the Islanders, who I think won the cup that year, and I had them playing the Rockies, the lowly Rockies, and the Rockies, I think I streamed it. The Rockies were actually winning, and then the Islanders tied it up on a late power play goal, but the game ended in a tie, and that was the Rockies, probably the worst team in the league, playing the best team, and they pulled out a tie. I thought that was pretty darn cool. So I like playing all those other teams. Yeah, pitches and catches reporting. I need to report myself. I need to report somewhere. I don't know where. And after the town comes through, the end of the drive is like the Great Wall of China. Yeah, it is. Well, I mean, we again, we all yell at the plows when they come by, but where are they supposed to put the snow? They move it out of the street so we can get down the street, but it's got to go somewhere. So it ends up at the end of our driveway, and then we have to clean that out. So JT says it was the third of four. Yeah. Yep. But I remember playing that game. It was fun. Colorado was winning. I was pulling for the the Rockies here, right? I think it was the Rockies. And then they the Islanders got that late goal, but it was still fun. It was fun to have a tie with the champs. So I kind of like doing that. I'll go back to the Matrix here. See how the Matrix goes. But yeah, so the Super Bowl set. I don't know what you guys think about that. If you're gonna watch it, I usually don't watch the Super Bowl, but Patriots in it, so well, maybe. But I still think it's a. I hope it's not as bad as the Bears Patriots Super Bowl. But Patriots, like I said, the upstart team. They're in a bad division. Buffalo had a bad year. The Chiefs had a bad year, and they just kind of someone needed to win it. And I thought it would be Denver, and then the quarterback went down. So I mean, how much of an easier path could you get? Who'd they play? They played was it the Texans? And who was the other team that they played? It was a wild card team that they played. So they played 2 games at home and then 1 on the road. So they beat the Texans and they beat wasn't the Jaguars, I don't think. And it wasn't the Bills because the Bills got knocked out by the Broncos. I'm trying to think who the Patriots played. It wasn't Miami, the Jets. It wasn't Pittsburgh. Oh, the Chargers. Yeah, that's right. The Chargers. Yeah, the Chargers were the 7 seed. Imagine that. And Chargers didn't play. The New England defense is pretty good. No, they didn't have the bye. They had to play somebody, and it was the Chargers. Because there was only one bye, and that was Denver. So they played the Chargers and they played the Texans. And you always watch the Super Bowl annual ritual while you do your taxes. I'll have it on sometimes. I haven't watched the halftime show in forever, even before it got political, I guess. I just, the last one I saw was Aerosmith, and then they put all these bands on I've never heard of, all these entertainers. I never heard of these guys. It's not as bad as the NHL. When the NHL has their whatever that you call, and they have a band on, they are the worst. They're like, oh my gosh, the NHL just doesn't know how to pick bands for their shows. It's like so bad. It's like I get done watching that, and it's just like I'm not excited for hockey. I just want to go lay down and cry after I watch one of the NHL musical performances. And the NFL, I mean, they're a little bit more upbeat, but it's always someone I never heard of. It's like I don't know who you are. I have no idea. Now again, I'm not into pop music, especially modern pop music. So, but it's funny how many times that they would come out the Crazy Train and Metallica and Guns N' Roses and Scorpions and all this stuff there, and never invite those guys on for a halftime show, right? But we'll play all your music during the game. All the halftime performers, right? Do they ever play their music during the game? No, they don't. No, they don't. So I don't know. That's my rant on the halftime show. I haven't watched it in years. It's not for me. It's for people who like pop music, and I don't listen to pop music. So, well, that's what I'm talking about. Alan says he went to a Predators game in Nashville, and they brought out a local country music. Again, it depends how it is. I mean, country music is a lot better than it used to be. At least I think, because as I'm a rock and roll guy. So, I so I don't want to dump on country music, but I mean, the newer stuff's more mainstream than it was the whole country stuff. But I mean, it's like, is that really going to get you up for a hockey game? It's just you want something that's gonna pump you up. You do. And yeah, like I said, I usually don't like to watch the Super Bowls. Usually it's a bad matchup. And again, I'm chiefed out. I got tired of watching the Chiefs. I think the last one I watched, I don't even remember the last one. Even the Brady one that he won with Tampa Bay, I didn't tune that in until later when they were like really ahead. And I was like, oh, maybe I'll watch the end of it. I don't remember the last Super Bowl I watched. It's not a big deal to me anymore. The modern sports nowadays, I like watching round one of the Stanley Cup. Then after that, I tune up. But round one is fantastic, fantastic. Especially the last couple of years have been great. Um, I did watch last year when I was heading home from D to D. I did watch that Toronto Florida game 7, and Toronto got destroyed by Florida. And I was watching in the hotel room as I was packing the truck, and then on the way home I was listening. And so but that was neat. And yeah, today's country is more mainstream. Yeah, the days of Conway Twitty are over. Yeah, yep. So I think I can listen to country music nowadays, but back in the day when it was more like find time to leave me. Oh man, it was like, yeah, okay, yeah, you're classic, Kenny. I get it, you're classic, but some of the other stuff was, oh, it was a little too country. You lose your dog, you lose your wife, you lose your car, you lose everything with country music. It's so sad. It's like, oh man. And that Chiefs fatigue, it's a real thing. It is. Chiefs fatigue is real. I just got tired of the Chiefs. I was like, yeah, don't feel like watching them anymore. Good for Mahomes, decent guy, great quarterback. Just tired of it. Just like people were tired of Brady and the Patriots. I get it now. And Christopher says, I've been playing second season on Super Bowl Sunday to get my football in. What do I usually do? I was playing video games when when the Patriots in the Super Bowl. I couldn't, like that 07 one when they were undefeated. That first series, I said they don't have it today. And they lost. I didn't even have to watch the game because I watched the first series. I just got a bad feeling. So I ended up playing my Xbox all night. So I didn't even watch that one. I watched the first half of the Atlanta game. I was at the Chinese restaurant. We watched it there and they were getting croaked. So I went home, went to bed. And then I think I woke up to go to the bathroom. And they're like, oh, the Patriots coming back. I was like, really? They're coming back? So yeah, no, I bailed out on that one too. But that's the last one I started to watch. So I thought they were going to beat up on the Falcons, and they were down badly. And I just went home. It's like, well, not a season wasted, with a bad Super Bowl. So, but then they came back, and it was the greatest comeback ever. La la la. Cotton Eye Joe's all right. That's very upbeat. Tim, I'll go with the Cotton Eye Joe. I would do that. Alan says before they left D to D last year, we should all put money on Florida. None of us thought that the Leafs would win. Yeah, I know, right? That's what you should have done. But I did. That Sunday night, I decided to stay Sunday night because I just was tired, and it was a bunch of us that we had dinner, and then I went back to the hotel, and the room was a disaster because I had all the stuff everywhere. And I said, let me start packing up so in the morning I could just go. And I'd like to get on the road early so I don't have to fight, 9 o'clock Boston traffic. So I'll have to leave real early. And I got everything packed up and I was like, you know something? I might just go home tonight and hit no traffic because I got a second wind all of a sudden. So I'm sitting there watching the games like, I'm out of here. So it took me like 6 trips and I packed up the truck and then I just gave the key to the guy. I says, I think I'm leaving tonight, beat the traffic. And I was home in a flash, listening to the game on the radio. I still want to play that. I still want to go back and play that series there, the Toronto Florida series. I still might pick that up for APA. I still might. Still might. You watched that Giants Patriots Super Bowl? Yeah, the Patriots got 14 points, right? Yeah, I didn't watch that one. And Marco says, you guys are all missing out. Every Super Bowl besides maybe 2 have been great in the last 20 years. Take care, Dave. Thanks for coming by. Kind of right, Marco. Kind of, sort of. Because the Super Bowl for many years was like one of the worst games of the year. They were always blowouts. But the last several years, yeah, the NFL has tightened up. We've had some really tight games and close games, and anybody could win. You're kind of right. You're kind of right with that. But I'm just chiefed out. I was just kind of chiefed out. I just got tired of the Chiefs. I really did. I think I watched some of the Cincinnati one. But the thing, I don't sit and watch full games anymore. I just don't have the attention span for that. That's just me. It's very rare that I'll sit down and watch a full game or anything. I don't even watch full movies anymore. That's why I used to not like TV series. Like you go to Netflix and it's all TV series. It's like, oh, where are the movies? But the TV series are great because sometimes they're only 30 or 40 minutes an episode. You're like, oh, this is perfect. You know. And then if you want to watch two, you're done in an hour. Well, that's good. I just don't have the attention span to sit and watch long things anymore, especially like the sports games. And I know I missed out on some, but I'll watch the highlights and enjoy it, or I can go back and watch the full game later if I want to. That's just me. That's just me. But anyway, so yeah, so we just kind of wrap this up shortly because I'm gonna go. I need to be up early tomorrow so I can attack the snow. So I was just coming on to say hi, see how everybody was doing. How'd you make out with the snow? Did you play anything during the snow, or were you out shoveling? I have obviously not played anything. I wanted to get some wrestling in. I got all my notes here, my notes from Dave Little. I know he just left, but I need to print out all my champions so I can all my belts, I should say. I got like 5 or 6 belts that I want to do in my federation, in all my fictional belts. They're fictional, so I want to start getting some champions. I want to start having some champions on here. I come up with a new belt last night, the Waffle House champion. And we're going to try to get some people from the South and the Midwest, and they will fight for the Waffle House champion. I need to play a football game too. We're going to have the Waffle House cheese and bacon bowl, right? That's a thing. It's a real thing. So we're going to have a bowl, the cheese and bacon bowl, the Waffle House cheese and bacon bowl. So we're going to do that, And so that was the Rams and bacon. Oh yeah, that was the Rams. 2 overtime Super Bowls. Interesting. I didn't know that. I did not know that. Did the Cowboys play in any of those Super Bowls? Cowboys? I don't remember. The dog I'm watching was disturbed by the fireworks at the field after the Seahawks game. Oh, you must be close. You must be real close. Yep. And Bob was heading. Yeah, I'm going to head out myself. So thanks for coming by, everyone. And we'll see how tomorrow goes. We'll see how the snow goes. I'd like to come on here and play something tomorrow because I'm back to a normal schedule. Actually, it's abnormal because I got all these extra games for the showcase coming up next weekend. So I'll be doing more than normal. I'm still hoping to get a show in Wednesday night. We're still trying to get the Spiders guy on. He's got a new webcam, so I got to get on and try it with him to see if we can get it to work and see how it looks. And if it goes well, hopefully we'll have that interview Wednesday night with him. Me and Joe will come on and we'll talk to him. So if that goes well, if not, then we'll just do a normal topic and we'll get the Spider guy on at some other point. But one day at a time. Got to get through this crazy snow. This is craziness. This has affected, let's say more than half the country. So, yeah, we're all in this together, except for Florida and California, and maybe Seattle. So, thanks for coming by, everyone. Hopefully, you guys will have a good day. And yeah, we're gonna try to stay warm. I'm gonna go put on my electric blanket right now. I'm gonna make another decaf coffee to warm up before I go to bed. So thanks for coming by. Hope you enjoyed the live stream earlier with the snow and the plow going by. That was kind of fun. I'll have to do that again. Maybe I can get a coyote cam going again. That was fun, or a possum cam. Although that's late at night. The possum is usually late at night. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But anyway, I'm Dave. Thanks for coming by. Bye bye.